Welcome back, Kerbinauts. Today we're going to do a complete Kerbin system tour with one mission. So we have, for the first time, we have in-situ fuel utilization. We're going to be able to mine some more from Minmus and hopefully Mon too, and use that to get us places. This is considered a base station, so we have a docking port to make that happen, and power, and we have a science lab and all kinds of goodies. We have a complete set of science instruments. Seismic data. Incidentally, seismic data is what they're gonna store on the InSight mission. It's heading to Mars here at the beginning of March. Huh, we don't have a temperature scan of there? Wow. We may as well do a gravity. If this mission works out as well as I hope it will, we will actually continue all the way to Duna. We've checked, and this should be able to support a Duna mission. Normally you would never do this, but we're Kerbals. We can make it happen. We're going to start doing our research here. So, as you might recall, this launching this was a beast, even with our even without the extra weight for the in-situ resource utilization stuff. This is even worse. Oh, a couple things to note. I put bigger landing legs and lower, so we should be okay on that front. I'm just gonna do just the tiniest gravity turn here, and then we're gonna keep going and just follow the acceleration, follow the prograde all the way up until we get to be high enough where it's no longer an issue. It's not the most efficient trajectory, but this is we don't have enough control really for the mass that is this rocket. We would probably be better off with a shorter rocket with more stages or something like that. It's interesting. We're going slightly off of that optimal 90-degree trajectory. Okay. So I mentioned InSight a little bit. We put an accelerometer on here, so you can measure like Mars quakes and stuff like that, or Kerbin quakes, I guess, or Minmus quakes or Mon quakes. InSight is going to have one of those on it, and it's going to be trying to detect Mars quakes, and it can use those Mars quakes to figure out what's inside of Mars. So that's how we know what's inside of Earth, is because we're detecting earthquakes from all across the world, and you can use those to get a pretty good idea of what the inside of the planet is like. Most of the Apollo missions carried a seismometer that they left on the surface of the moon that was used for that very purpose. And in fact, to help calibrate them, they actually deliberately crashed the upper stages of the Saturn V rocket at certain points on the moon in order to purposely cause moonquakes and use that to try to figure out what was inside of the moon. So they also, to a lesser extent, did the same thing with the lunar lander. After they were done using it, they crashed it back into the moon, and they tried to deliberately crash it into a spot where it could be useful, the ascent stage. So most of the Apollo ascent stages are no longer in existence, with the exception of one known as Snoopy, which I think was from Apollo 10. and that one ended up in solar orbit for reasons that escape me at the moment. Okay, we seem to be on a fairly nice trajectory. Let's see here. I'm starting to gain newfound respect for all of those people who I've listened to record and talk at the same time, and it is a much more challenging thing than you would think it is. So, hats off to all of those YouTubers that I've ever been micromanaging stuff that they missed in plain sight, because now I'm starting to get it. Anywho, we are coming up on BECO, Booster Engine Cutoff, which is our first major mission milestone. Now the Falcon Heavy, they actually started to not burn these side engines quite as much because it would actually get beyond the structural limits of what the center stage could take. It's too much acceleration. But we don't have that problem. And we have BECO and separation. And it's clean. It looks like the two booster stages ran into each other a little bit, but the main stage is fine. Nothing to worry about. All is well in the world. Huh. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get ourselves... We're above most of the atmosphere, so we're gonna start... Actually... yeah, we need to start burning sideways. I don't know if you can hear this, but this is a particularly windy day, and I can certainly hear wind gusts from time to time. So I'm sorry if you hear that and it makes it harder to hear, but I do my best. Oh, wow, oh, whoops. That's why it's fighting me. Okay. Not the world's best ascent profile, but it'll do. I'm gonna hold off on firing until I'm at the correct attitude. Actually, this is close enough. This will be a good burning profile. Okay. Still have a lot of fuel in our upper stage, which is good. How are we doing with this? Okay. I'm gonna keep that data and not put it into our science probe. So the accelerometer only really does any good on the ground. It's a newish science instrument. We are in space. I also added lights on the bottom that'll make our landings a lot easier, especially if we land on a dark spot. Oh, we can do a gravity scan now that we're in. Oh. So let's do a crew report. Add that in. This is a big behemoth of rocket. There's a reason why in real life they don't tend to launch an entire space station at once. Okay, I'm gonna cut off our engine for a little bit. Wait about a minute. Oop. Waited a little longer than I intended, but it'll be fine. See how much of our orbital speed we can get. Yeah, we're inching closer to Apoasis, but not horribly. And our Apoasis is actually quite a bit higher than our target anyways, so it'll be fine. Besides, we can use the upper stage. We can use it a lot. We only need about 1,000 meters once we achieve orbit with the top stage, and we have 3,000. So we could have probably done with a smaller upper stage. Although if we do a Duna mission, I think we'll need every bit of that fuel. And we'll almost certainly need all of the parachutes that we brought along. So we're having an engineer will come in real handy. Okay, we've managed to improve our inclination a little bit. Wow. We're almost going to do this with this I should have let go of that one a long time ago. Well, I could say we did this on purpose, because this stage right here will crash into the ground still, but barely. We're barely going to touch the fuel on the upper stage. Perfect. Yeah, I totally had that planned that way. Uh-huh. If you believe that, I might sell you some real estate in Florida. Okay. I'll hold off a little bit. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and deploy our solar panels. Actually, you know what? This mission can't really go to Duna because of the communication. We don't really have a communication antenna worthy. We do have a relay satellite. Maybe we'll launch one of those to Duna or something. Oh, I thought I put 4. I'm sure I put 4. Where's the... Nope, that's 3. Oh well, probably plenty anyways. One nice thing, as opposed to our previous ones, we can actually retract these solar panels. So, you know, if one of our Kerbal knots should say want to get out and stretch, a little bit less likely that he will knock over a valuable solar panel. Not that our Kerbals would ever do that. Actually, we want to transfer him. Okay, transfer crew to top stage. Then we'll have him go do an EVA and still need to do a little bit more of a burn, don't we? Oh, we still got 2 whole minutes. Wow. Plenty of time to do an EVA, right guys? Wrong. Okay, we want to collect the data and restore. Do we have this? I forget where we've... Oh, cool, we do. Collect data and restore. They really ought to allow the scientists to do that a little bit easier. Keep, take the data, and we'll take this data too. Okay, so we want to dump gravity readings in... Oh, we probably can't do that because there's nobody in there. Haha, okay. Transfer crew. Bob is gonna go to here. Yay! Now let's see if we can do this. Perfect. So the gravity instrument is one of the best ones that you can get in terms of the science, because you can get science from everywhere. And let's see if we can get our temperature sensor. I don't care that I don't have that. It's so easy. We'll get it anyways. Okay. And we'll start our science. We should be good. Okay, KerbNet access. Ooh, that's right. That looks for anomalies. But we're not on an anomaly hunt. We are headed to Minmus. Let's try to do... This is a little bit out of alignment. This is not the best time to make it to Minmus. But it might just be that this will work out really well. Oh, we had a moon encounter. Oh. Perfect. Perfect. We do have an official encounter, so let's just... We'll take this. Valentine is not quite good enough to do this all in a single shot, or not quite good enough to do the targeted. With the level 3 pilot, you can actually tell them to target the maneuvering node, which can be very... Shoot. Did I... Actually, we're gonna burn radial out. This perfect encounter I have lined up, and then I go and screw it up because I forgot that we're going through the atmosphere. Which reminds me, if we're going to do that, then we should probably retract our solar panels. Oh, silly me. This is why you always have a parking orbit that's above the practical atmosphere. I mean, at 58 kilometers, it won't affect our orbit a whole lot, but it will affect it. Okay, that'll be good enough. We'll take a slight dip, but we're going to have to redo our maneuver a little bit. Actually, it looks like it'll be fine. We're still going to burn at the same point in time. We're just not going to, the burn might be a little bit different. Whew, crisis averted. Crisis averted. So we'll actually since we're here, I'm sorry, this is probably horrible. Can't English today, wow. We're gonna go ahead and keep that. Do we want to reset that and keep that science? Yes, we do. Transfer crew. So we're gonna send Bob. Poor Bob. Okay, Bob. I know we're technically in the atmosphere, but it's fine. So we're gonna keep that, and we're going to collect the data and restore it and board. Oh, I already collected that. Silly me. Whatever. You know what, just for the fun of it, we'll turn on our lights since it's so dark. Bob will transfer to there. We're gonna start our research again, and then we're gonna zoom forward again. You can see that we're being very, very slightly affected. This is actually kind of realistic. This is like the 200 to 300 kilometer range above Earth. That it'll have a very slight effect on your orbital trajectory, but in long term it will deorbit you, but you can pass through with minimal effect. One of the big effects that you actually have is this kind of rotating like we're seeing now. So spacecraft that are that low, they tend to be very aerodynamic, actually. Despite being a spaceship, most spaceships don't really need to be very aerodynamic, but it can make a difference there. Whew. Okay, let's get this show on the road. We are officially back in space, and we can't see, so let's just warp to the next maneuver. So this is one of the few times you'll do a radial out maneuver too. I definitely screwed up that. Luckily, I only screwed it up a little bit and was able to correct for it, but There could be worse things. Okay, that is a long burn time. Is that real? Yes, it is. We might have to do multiple ejection burns. We might not be able to do this all at once. In fact, I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. We just don't have the thrust to weight ratio to make this really work well. Let's go ahead and extend our solar panels now that we're not in the atmosphere again. And we will cut off about 30 seconds after the maneuver. The nominal maneuver time, so that way we'll have done about half of it before and about half of it after. You can see our periapsis is high enough we're not going to re-enter the atmosphere at this time. Okay, we have all 3 panels deployed. And cut off. So our orbital period is still low enough where it shouldn't affect the position of Minmus that badly. We're gonna add a maneuver here. A few interstellar missions have done this before. One of the big ones was the MOM mission, Mars orbiting. I can't remember. It was the Indian space probe that sent to Mars. It took like 5 or 6 ejection burns to work right. So let's do this a little bit earlier. And a little bit more force. Actually, a little bit later. Actually, yeah. This is not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Let's just do it. This is one of the longest burns that I've ever had to do that I remember in this game. For this kind of trajectory, at least. Let's... just keep on trucking. We should still have enough fuel to land, but I'm not 100% confident that we would have enough fuel to... Yeah, we should have enough fuel to land and do the return, even without the in-situ resource utilization. It'll be fine. If we were really worried about fuel, we could actually do a flyby of the moon to reduce our fuel cost a little bit. It's really hard to time it, and it only saves a couple 100 meters per second. But you can do it if you really want to. Whoops. Too many satellites in orbit, I'm getting confused. There's our moon flyby. Okay. Well, we'll do a correction burn. Maybe partway through, so we'll do it like here. Okay. Whew. I think we've saved this mission, guys. That was intense. That was intense. Okay. So let's have our engineer here get out and do an EVA. Just for the fun. Just for funsies. Oh, cool. Can I... Actually, let's store it there, and then I'll do another EVA. And that was close. Okay, now I can store that. Good. Handholds are very important in space. Okay, so we have this that we're gonna chuck into our science machine. And let's try a crew report. Can't chuck it into our science machine, but that's okay. We're almost in the official deep space marker. So we'll do a little bit more. Yep, we're in deep space officially now. So we'll do another EVA report. Yeah, it's not worth that little bitty. Okay. We're gravity detector. Oh, I forgot to take the data from the gravity detector, so let's go ahead and do that. Take data, and then we will sorry, gotta get the valuable science in this game or else you just don't get anywhere. And the gravity detector is one of the best things that you can get. So we'll log the data. And we will collect it. Let's take the data. May as well check that temperature reading because that's going to be super valuable. Actually, I mock it, but you can learn a lot about the temperature of something. Atmospheric pressure in space being 0, that's not really very big news. Okay, let's go to here. Actually, instead, let's just add a maneuver here. And wow, we got a little bit sidetracked there. There's too many things I can't see. That is a good pass. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get pointed roughly. Just a few meters per second, and this will save us so much in the long run. It's amazing what just the little bit of fuel at the right time can do. So I think we're going to land on Minmus, and then we'll call phase 1 of our mission complete. Oops. Warp to next maneuver. Whoopsies. Oh, that was not what I intended to do. Hit the wrong button there. Instead of cutting it off, I hit it full throttle. You don't want to make that mistake. Although, what is our... Yeah, we can do better than that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's warp all the way out. I could collect all this science, but yeah, it'll be fine. Let's just confirm our... Oh, that's a little further than I thought. Let's... Actually, let me do this. We'll add a maneuver, we'll... slow down a little bit. Okay. So notice that I was off by maybe a meter per second before, and now it's going to take 8 to make the correction. Man, this thing is hard to control. I really should start using RCS more. Should make this thing a lot easier to control. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like waste, and you tend to use extra fuel with RCS as opposed to reaction wheels, and so. Oh, close enough. Okay. Whew, we're good.